I love this sweet holiday single Christmas hugs. I think it's the perfect new addition to the holiday roundup. I'm curious, who though are starting at the beginning? Let's go back a little bit. You guys are often described as sort of like a pop rock group. Is that how you guys tend to describe the music you make?
Yeah, I mean, the music we make is just high energy, positive, uplifting music. We just want to have people come to see us or listen to us on the radio or wherever and just be beaming and walk away, like feeling uplifted. So, um, I don't like to pigeonhole music, but pop rock feels like it's the kind of the right description.
Who were some of the musical influences you had when you were growing up?
So when I was a kid growing up, my parents used to have the record player on all the time, and it used to be stuff like the Beatles, obviously, but also Bowie, the Carpenters. So it was all just like really melodic music and, melodies, timeless melodies that stick in your brain and are still in there 30 years later, so that's what I listened to growing up. And then when I was a teenager, I grew up in the Britpop era. So, bands like Blur and Oasis and Suede and Radiohead and people like that. So, the big British Britpop era of the late 90s. So that's kind of where my rock influences and my indie influences come from. And that's why when I write music, it's kind of like all those great melodies from, the 60s and the 70s and then mixed in with Britpop and indie and 90s and noughties rock.
I love the concept for Christmas hugs. As I said, where did this idea come from for writing this song?
Well, so like I'm unashamedly a big Christmas fan, right? I always have been, and I've always wanted to write a Christmas single. But then I always feel like, some artists they bring out a Christmas single just to tap into the market and make some money. But for me, our music is all about like shining a light and people feeling better about themselves and empowering people to go away and have a better day. And tying that in with Christmas is just like a natural next thing for us to do. So the idea for Christmas Hugs was we want to carry on writing music that just empowers people, makes them feel better, makes them feel more included. And what is it about Christmas that we think is great? And for us, it was the fact that people just they change, their spirits transform, and they allow themselves to be just more friendly and more forgiving and more charitable. And the music, the song we wrote is just about spreading that feeling of goodwill for as wide a time as possible, not just for a few weeks of Christmas. Let's take it all the way from like bonfire night and Halloween all the way through to New Year, which is why we reference that in the song. Like if you can stretch
Yes.
that feeling out to 6 weeks, 7 weeks, that's just brilliant.
People here tend to put their Christmas tree up after Thanksgiving, like the day of or like the day after. So I think this, including Halloween, even further back, gives people the opportunity or the permission to to start celebrating as early as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just about putting your tree up or putting your lights up, is it? It's just about that feeling that you have inside that, really looking forward to it. And for me, my favorite thing about Christmas is just the build up, the getting ready and anticipation and just the buzz you get from the knowledge that everyone around you is going to be really friendly and it's great. I love it.
What was the process like for you to write this song? Did you find the little riff or maybe the hook first and then you crafted the beat around it? How did this one find you?
Yeah, so I'm quite strange and as a songwriter and my band find it really, really annoying that I will just this is the same for every single song I write. I will wake up at 2:30 a.m. or whatever, some stupid time, and I will wake up because I've had a dream and I've got some song in my head. And I learned the first couple of years, I learned that I can't go back to sleep because by the time I wake up again, it'll be gone. There won't even be a spark of that idea in my head. It'll be gone. So I get up, I go downstairs and I record it. Doesn't matter what time. And so that's how I write songs. And the thing is, the reason that the band don't like me very much is because the whole song will just come into my head. It's not a riff, it's not a chord sequence. The whole thing's just there, arranged, produced, everything. And so I then put that song down in a very rough way at 2:30 in the morning. And I then take it to the band and go, look, I've had this idea. Now, how do we make it work for the band? And then they generally come into it with all their ideas, and that's what makes it a great song.
So then all the production is done by you in particular?
Well, when I started out 2 years ago, I was doing it all in Logic on my computer in my studio. But I was very lucky to find two local producers, local to Bristol in the UK, who were just on the same wavelength. And they've taken those songs up another level. So that's a guy called Aaron Short. He's a local producer who produced a load of our songs, actually, like Smile No Fox Given, I'll Be There, Pretty, and he did Christmas Hugs. So very lucky to work with, a couple of very talented producers.
What's been the fan response so far? Are they already putting it in their holiday rotation?
Yeah, it's been so good because you know what? Sometimes people don't admit that they want to be nice to each other. It's not cool to say, yeah, I'm a nice person. I'm nice to people. I want to go and give someone a hug. But actually, deep down, people they want to be a nice person. Most people. So our music tends to connect really well with people because ultimately people just want to have a nice time and spread the love. So and that's why I think Christmas Hugs has just gone down really well because not only the message of spreading joy and cheer and just hugging the people around you, but also the fact that the song itself, I guess it kind of references a lot of classic Christmas tunes, right? There's a lot of little references in there, whether that's lyrically or musically, that make people feel like a little nostalgic glow. Um, but also it's just one of those songs that luckily it's just got a little hook in the chorus that people love singing along to. So I just think people tell me that it just makes them feel really happy, so that that makes it for me.
I feel that way about the video as well. For those who are curious, who are those charming young men who make a cameo in this?
So I got two little boys, Alfie and Rocco, and I try and include them in it anyway because they just love doing it. But also, we have Home Alone references, so I really wanted a little bit of Kevin McAllister in there, running around being crazy, doing this and just like running around. I really wanted those visual references in there, and for me, they make that quite special.
It's a family affair, and I think it was such a sweet touch to the video as well.
Thank you. I mean, they really enjoyed it, and it feels natural. They're just having fun, so it's great.
What's the fan response been then when you've been performing this live? Is it full holiday spirits and people are just like, is it at the start of your set? Is it at the end of your set at this moment?
So we've been doing something a little bit different. So obviously, normally we're a full band, a full rock band. We would be playing full rock gigs, but we changed it up a bit for Christmas Hugs and for November and December. We actually started doing some school gigs, like in America. Is it primary school or is it first school? So
Yeah, it's about
like
elementary, middle school. It goes elementary,
yes,
middle, and then high school.
so like kids from 6 to 12. So we just started going around some local schools and playing classic Christmas songs, but also Christmas hugs. And it's gone down so well because it fits in really, really well with the set. We've also been doing a whole bunch of open mic nights just because we feel like it really fits the vibe. Just turning up with a bunch of people, acoustic guitars, not the full drum kit, just a really stripped down drum kit, and just doing something that's really intimate with people. And Christmas Hugs works really well like that. We don't need all the production to make it sound catchy because it's just a really catchy tune. So we've all got our sleigh bells that we're shaking around, and it's a really good vibe. So we've been doing that, and that's been just going down so well with people.
All right, well, this begs the question then. In 2025, will there be a full Chandra Christmas album or EP?
I think, do you know what people like Sia who do full-on Christmas albums? I just think I would love to do that one day, but she must have spent an entire year, creating and recording that album. And I think I just haven't got time to do that. One day I'd love to do that, but we've got to make it. We've got to be releasing new music every 3 to 4 months. And I just don't have the spare time to write more Christmas songs. I've got loads of Christmas songs in my head, but I think that's for another year maybe. This
Yep,
this year
there we
is
go.
all about new singles and a new EP, festival gigs. This year is about that.
What are some of your personal then holiday traditions?
So we do Elf on the Shelf. You have that in the US, right? Elf on the Shelf. Yeah, we do that hardcore. So I really look forward to that stuff, because the kids really love it, and I think having kids around the house just amplifies everything tenfold. I mean, me on my own with my wife, we are Christmas crazy already, but I think a lot of people when they come to our house, they're a bit like, really? So we're just a bit crazy. But obviously it's a daily build up from when the elves decide to come. Every day is just crazy. So that's one of my favorites, I think, because it just makes everyone smile every single day.
I watched a video recently where someone had a police officer knock on their door and they're like, "Dude, we have somebody in custody. We found him behind your house." And the little girls go in the police truck and it's their little elf on the shelf. They're like, "Do you know this man? Should we take him into custody?" They're like, "That's our elf, Noel." And I thought that was just like perfect. It makes me think of how hardcore you would probably be with Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they stepped it up this year to a different level. Our craziest one was a few days ago when we heard the car alarm. We woke up at like 6 in the morning and the car alarm was going off and there were flashing lights. The hazard lights on the car were flashing. We came downstairs and the car had basically smashed into the front door and the doors were open. The elves were all over the front of the car. There was Christmas music blazing at like 100 volume at 6 in the morning. The driveway was crazy, man.
Your neighbors must be in love with your holiday spirit.
Luckily, they're understanding.
Okay. We are curious then. We talked a little bit about maybe a holiday album in the future. Are you back in the studio working on some new singles for the start of the new year?
Yeah, so the thing about being an unsigned band is that you have got to be consistently and constantly releasing new music. So that's why we didn't go down the road of waiting a year to release an EP and record an EP or an album. We just release a new single every 3 months, like every 12 weeks, basically, we put out a new single and a new music video. And then at the end of that, when we have a great collection of songs, then we put them out as an EP or an album. So at the moment, we're already just started putting down the final ideas for the next single, which comes out probably mid to end of February. Um, Really excited though, because this year we released our debut EP, which is called the Lifted EP, which is a really nice collection of songs that feel like they sit together. But now we've got to step it up. So I'm really excited about what people think about the new music.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the beautiful music all of you make as a group?
I think just thank you so much for all the people that get in touch and let us know how the music connects with them. It's not just about the fact that they can sing along and have a great time when they're listening on whatever streaming platform or live, but it's also about the fact that people tell us that they wake up in the morning and they put on our music before they go to work or before they go to school or whatever, and it just sets them up for the day and makes them just go out there with like a really positive outlook on life. And it seems to be making a big difference with people, and that's exactly what we wanted. So, I mean, just thank you so much for that.
Oh my goodness, that must mean so much to you that people need that little boost of serotonin, especially these days with mental health being such a concern, that you guys are a part of bringing a little bit of light, a little bit of a better day to someone must mean so much to you.
Yeah, and especially, songs like Lifted, which is the title track of our EP, that song is just all about believe inside you when you wake up that you're going to go out there and have a great day and good things will happen to you. And even if you're not having a great day, someone around you will be having a good day. And just for them to spread that energy around will help you as well. So it's just so special that you have this idea about what you want to say to people, and then it just works. It's so cool.